Dear friends, this welcome resumption of the Also Freedom Forum, previously made impossible by the COVID-19 pandemic, coincide with the anniversary of 33 years since the fall of communist dictatorship in Central and Eastern Europe, and 31st years from the collapse of the USSR. At the time, 24 countries re-entered the democratic space, with 11 of them previously incorporated in the former Soviet Union. The Cold War that had lasted in 45 years was at an end, finally offering peace a chance. Now, we are faced with a new Cold War, while in Ukraine, the Russian Federation is waging an altogether hot conflagration, thereby returning the horrors of the Second World War to the contemporary limelight. Affirming our solidarity with those that are fighting in Ukraine for their own country's freedom, as well as our resolve in standing with those suffering from this unwarranted invasion, today's award of the Václav Havel Prize is a welcome opportunity to commemorate those that stood up against repression during long and bloody Soviet dictatorship, fighting for liberty and democracy at the price of their own lives and on their own freedom. As one who has spent 50 years under dictatorship, as one who was directly involved in the overthrow of the totalitarian regime in Romania, I am here today to offer you all a testimony of an emblematic personality who inspired us in our own struggle for freedom and democracy, Václav Havel. I met President Havel 31 years ago in Prague, when he was already president of the Czech Republic, and when I was adapting his ideas to the civic movement I led in Romania. As rector of the University of Bucharest, I had the pleasure of awarding President Havel to the title of Doctor Honoris Causa. We were close collaborators as presidents of our respective countries, and the strong friendship continued to tie us long after, until his untimely demise. Havel was an informal leader of the family of first democratic presidents from Central and Eastern Europe, who hailed from the academic and cultural milieu of their respective countries. Today, his ideas are perhaps more applicable than ever before, both though regarding the power of the powerless and his belief that truth and love will vanquish lies and hate. If it's not possible to peacefully dismantle the most criminal regime in the history of mankind, the Soviet Empire, responsible for tens of millions of deaths through a non-violent movement called the Velvet Revolution 3 decades ago. Why will the same feat be impossible today? Those who will make such a victory of the good a reality will be people much alike the present here tonight in the Oslo Concert House. Or those I met during previous reunions of the Oslo Freedom Forum. Creative and courageous individuals that can mobilize those around them in the struggle against repressive regimes. These fights against evil not end anytime soon. In years to come, other generations will come to understand just how much they owe those who had the wisdom and bravery to fight in their stead. Now, towards my later years, after life lived during the Second World War as a refugee, then under a criminal dictatorship that succumbed to a popular revolution, followed by a difficult economic transition that bore high social cost. I wish to confess to the depth of the appreciation and respect I feel for you. I am certain that my dear and old friend, Václav Havel, would also have been proud of you today, as would the other in that family of early democratic presidents of Europe that are no longer among us. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank Thor and Gary that 3 years later we could be together again. 15 years ago in Washington, a new Statue of Liberty was unveiled, a bronze replica of that built out of paper by Chinese students in Tiananmen Square. I attended that dedication as a survivor among the Eastern European presidents that founded the memorials of the victims of communism. I'm glad to be able to offer this symbol as a sign of the Havel Prize for Creative Dissent to Marina Ovsyannikova. Hope is not the conviction that things will take a turn for the better, but rather the conviction that you are doing makes sense regardless of the turn things take, for better or worse. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's very
Marina, this is welcome to the free world. We also need the people to fight for truth.
Much for this event. To be honest, I didn't expect it at all. When I sorry. Thank you very much for this award. To be honest, I didn't expect it at all. When I first read George Orwell novel 1984, I was a journalism student. And this is a social fiction. In future Russia, it would be impossible, I thought. It was 1998, the time of Yeltsin democratic reforms. Now it seems like ages ago. I was wrong. In just 20 years, Russia has become a totalitarian state. Now people are being jailed for saying no war. And the president of this country is a war criminal. In 20 years, Putin has destroyed all independent media in Russia. Instead, he built a cynical and lying propaganda machine. It works following Goebbels' philosophy, constantly calling black-white. For many years, Russian media have been teaching people to hate Ukraine, the United States, and Western Europe. We all know what the disaster this led to. February 24th was the point of no return for me. It was a shock. After my protest on live TV, my children said that I had ruined our family's life, and they kept asking me why I did it. In this life, one must sometimes to do similarly irrational for the greater good. I want my children to live in the free country that doesn't attack neighbors in the dead of night and doesn't threaten the world with nuclear weapons. I know what million Ukrainian women and children are feeling right now. I know what it's like to lose everything and become a refugee. I had such experience. I was a child when the first war in Chechnya began. My house was reduced to rubble. That's why I hate war. Any war is death, pain, and ruined lives. George Orwell wrote, "The fastest way to end a war is to lose it." It's hard for me to talk about it, but I don't see any other way for my country. Russia must lose this war as soon as possible. The light must triumph over darkness. Thanks again for this award. I wish to use this money to help Ukrainian refugees.
Art is about feelings and associations. To me, this particular artwork brings back memories from my childhood in the mid-'80s in Iran, taking Paykan cabs around the city with friends and family. Paykan was a preferred car for taxi drivers in Iran at that time, and they used to fill them up with friends and strangers. I remember being 14 people in a cab to travel around. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to give this prestigious Havel Prize to the artists of the Paycon project. I hope they come soon.
Thank you, Mahmoud, and I'd like to thank the Human Rights Foundation for its incredible generosity to the Paycon Arkar and all of us. I'm Mark Wallace. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Paycon Arkar and its co-founder. I'm delighted to be here today with all of you to receive the Václav Havel 2022 prize, particularly to be with you, activists, artists, and dissidents from all around the world who use art, creativity, and words to fight tyranny. Victor Hugo wrote that the ugly, horrible, hideous thing can be made beautiful in the realm of art without losing anything of its monstrosity. Percy Shelley believed that this mimesis is an instrument of moral good because it allows man to imagine intensely and comprehensively the pains and pleasures of others. And of course, for Dostoevsky in 1869, beauty will save the world. Diasporas are often fountainheads of creativity and ingenuity. The more they thrive, they live, they create, they serve as the beautiful riposte to the tyranny left behind. The Iranian diaspora is exemplary, vibrant and dynamic. Wherever they settle, they meet with success. Iran, in the wake of that diaspora, remains a land of oppression, a land where human dignity has no currency, where being queer is punishable by death. The Paycon Arkar is a beautiful thing that seeks to address a monstrous concept. And it springs from the mind of Persians, Iranians in exile. Dr. Hiva Feyzi is the heart and soul of the Paycon Arkar. She's its co-founder and executive director. Her father, Mir, and mother, Azar, left Iran in 1998 for the express purpose of finding opportunity and dignity for their daughters. We honor Mir and Azhar today for their sacrifices for their family. My good friend Alireza Shojayan is the first Paycon Arkar artist. He fled Iran and left his family and all he had behind for fear of his life. It's horrific that most of the queer community in Iran is recognized when one of its souls is lost in the embrace of death, hanging from a construction crane. We hope to change that. It is my great privilege and honor to work with the creative and brave Hiva and Alireza. Hiva.
Our canvas is an iconic Iranian automobile. When the Paycon began rolling off the factory line in 1964, it was the first Iranian fully manufactured automobile. It immediately became a symbol of Iranian pride and industry and offered Iranians freedom, modernity, and hope. That legacy we hope to continue. In the same way that every Iranian aspired to own a Paycon, we aspire for every Iranian to live free and with dignity. The Paycon Arkar was born from that belief. This particular car was gifted by Shah of Iran to the dictator Nicolae Ceausescu in 1974. A car that was once a gift to a dictator is now a beautiful symbol of Iranian human rights. Since the Islamic Revolution in 1979, Iran has become a place of deep systematic discrimination against the LGBTQ community. Just this year, in a national address, Khamenei described homosexuality as a moral deprivation. Unsurprisingly, in this context, Iran's LGBTQ community often finds itself systematically persecuted within broader Iranian society, a society that has been taught to believe that being queer is shameful. We plan to continue the journey of Peykan Arkar as a beautiful symbol of human rights. For the next edition of the Peykan Arkar, we will commission a female Iranian artist to use it as a medium to raise awareness of the gender-based violence and a systematic abuse of women perpetuated by the regime. Today, though, we celebrate our first collaboration, which has been exceptional in every sense, as Ali Reza has transformed the Peykan Arkar into an incredible cri de coeur of LGBTQ community and rights. Thank you again for the great honor, and thank you, Ali Reza.
Thank you for the choice of the Peykan art car to pick a subject which has been kept as a taboo for many years. And thanks to the recognition of this the importance of this choice by the Human Rights Foundation, I have the chance to opportunity to share a few words with you. I'm glad to be the first artist to transform this historic Peykan to an artwork to bring awareness to the horrific living condition and violation of human rights against my fellow LGBTQ+ community in my home country, Iran. The main inspiration comes after the tragic death of Ali Reza Fazeli by his male relatives in May 2021, simply for being gay. Ali Reza's death is a cruel reminder to all of us of the systematic violence we LGBTQ people face in Iran on a daily basis, either as a result of government oppression or society. The anti-LGBTQ laws, and more specifically, the capital punishment, is the cause of displacement of many Iranian LGBTQ people inside and outside of Iran. Those who manage to escape end up being trapped in Turkey for years, a country that is increasingly putting more and more pressure on their own queer community and queer refugees. Sadly, after enduring years of hardship, only a small number of these people get placed in a third safe country where they would need to start their lives from zero again. It's needless to say that my experience as an Iranian queer person has not been an easy one either. But I'm glad that with the safety and freedom that France granted me, I am able to do an artwork like this in which many people might find their voice. I'm sure there are so many others who have the same potential, but just because of not having this privilege, they are not able to express themselves. I hope those countries that can grant a safe home to the people like me continue to do so until a day no one has to leave their home country simply to be their true self. Thank you.
It's heavy, huh?
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
I'm Liu Cao. I'm a Chinese artist. I make art to giving nightmare to dictator like Xi Jinping. And today, I'm going to introduce one of my great friends, a much bigger guy who also gives nightmare to a lot more dictators. But before this, please allow me to reading a list, and I also need your help. Take out your mobile phones, notebook, and this is some important names. Hans, K-H-E-N-C-A-R-T. George, Georgetorrealba. Lilia, Lilia _ Kuatsabaya. Beast Bernice, Beastburmese. PX Molina, PXMOLINA. Marisa, MARISSA _ NAHANEE _ DSIGN. And Ali, KHALIDALBAIH. These are my fellow dissident artists. These are the people who are really brave. You know, we are not worrying about or be afraid to be exiled or knocked the door by the police or be putting into all kind of threat. But what makes us really struggle is lack of platform to showing our artworks, to having this platform to tell the general public. Last year, a great figure makes a game change. Enes Kanter Frieden, one of the top players in the league, decided to using his supersized shoes as a canvas for all of the artists that I just mentioned to display the artwork regarding all the human rights issues, especially in China, like the Uyghur genocide, the Tibetan people's struggle, the Hong Kongers' struggle. Enes Kanter Frieden has been known for his activism against the Turkish dictator Erdogan for years. But last year, he decided to take this to a whole new level, using his shoes to providing platform, millions of audience, which is something we as dissident artists dreaming about, but always having difficulty to do because of the censorship and threat. This brave action does not come without a price. Enes has been shadow banned by the NBA League. He has been banned by China. But he is so brave, he never breaks down. And he's continuing his marvelous, marvelous campaign. So today, we're celebrating this prize with all the dissident artists, and mostly to the big man with the big heart, Enes Kanter Frieden.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, brother.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty heavy, actually. I'm just gonna take this off because it's getting hot in here. Okay. Whew. Okay, well, you're talking about changing the world with talent. You talk about Mauricio. He's a living proof. First of all, I want to take my time and thank the HRF family. I wanted to give their name because they've been doing an amazing job just organizing this, and next year is going to be the 15th one. So, Thor, Gary, Celine, I don't want to forget any of them, so give me a time. We talk about Javier and my hero, Jenny. There's so many people behind these curtains who's working so hard to make this event happen, so I want to take my time and thank them first. And here, you guys can clap for them. It's not for me, it's for them. The second thing is, so this week is my birthday week. I appreciate it. So I appreciate it. I just turned 30, so I feel like I'm getting old. But every year, I used to celebrate my birthday with my family since 2015, right? Then dictator Erdogan took over, and he revoked my passport, put my name on Interpol list. And unfortunately, the last 7, 8 years, I'm away from my family. So every year, the night before my birthday, I was praying to God and saying that, please, God, give my family back so I can have one more birthday with my family. Then I came here to Oslo. And the last 3 days, I met with so many heroes, so many brave people. And I realized today, I was like, my wish did came true, God gave me the freaking coolest family that I could ask for possible. So that's one. So about the shoes, so he was one of the creator of the shoes. So I wanted to, as you guys see it over there, whenever I was a little kid, whenever I watched an NBA game, the first thing I watched was the shoes. What kind of shoes they're wearing, what brand it is, what color it is, if it's comfortable. So I wanted to create these shoes to inspire everyone but our future kids, our young generation, because they're going to be the one who's going to make some real change. So we wanted to, this is the Tibet one, and we can just go to the next ones, but I wanted to create these shoes and bring awareness about what's going on around the world. So we made with so many, this is an Uyghur shoes, and we wanted to create these shoes to just go out there and wear it. And now everyone I've seen, every kid I've seen is asking for the shoes. They're like, where can we buy them? So I'm going to start producing them soon. So the one thing, the last 3 days, I came here and listened to many stories. And every time I listened to a story, obviously, my heart was breaking. And it's a really tough situation, obviously. Because I wanted to learn about not just the things that are happening in my country, but all over the world. Problems are happening all over the world. But one thing that really got my attention, people are coming here and talking about all these problems. Okay, so what's the solution? That's the one thing that we need to find out. I wanted to put that seed in your guys' brain. We come here talking about the problems. We come here talking about, okay, people are dying, there's political prisoners, this and that, but what is the solution? What can we do? We always say, don't just talk about it, be about it. What can we do to bring some real change? What can we do to bring some real, if we come here and talk about it all day and then go back to our countries and forget about it, then this is a waste of time. So I feel like we need to come together and bring some real change. I'm an athlete, so I have a boxer friend. I tried to learn how to box. It did not go too well because I was too tall for it. But my boxer friend was telling me, he gave me a really good advice. He's like, I'm going to teach you something. I said, okay, go ahead. He said, as a boxer, if you punch a guy with your hands open, you're going to break your hand, right? If you make a fist and punch your opponent in the face, you're going to knock him down. So I asked him, what are you talking about? I'm not going to go out there and fight. In real, I'm just trying to get in good shape. He said, individually, right? You guys might be heroes. You guys might be the bravest people that I know. You guys might be so good, so amazing. But don't forget, you guys are trying to fight against a government. You guys are trying to fight against dictatorships. So individually, we might not be strong enough to go against the whole country. So that's why we need to find a solution to come together and fight as one and punch all the dictators in the face around the world and knock them down. So, yeah. With that being said, we talk about the solution. I feel like the first step is the attending Oslo Freedom Forum, and the second step is donating. They told me to say that. I'm just joking. But But other than that, man, I want to say I'm really humbled to be here. And this award, I'm dedicating this award to you guys because I feel like without you guys, I'm nothing. Because there's a really good, so I play basketball, it's a team sport, right? We always say one for all for one. So I feel like I'm accepting this award on behalf of you guys, and I'm dedicating to this beautiful award to these beautiful heroes here and beautiful people here. And thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. And my last thing for you guys, if you guys ever in America, please let me know. I would like to invite you guys to one of my games. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Thank you.